So, just asking, whether people think that we are not chipped. I think we are already chipped. Look to your credit cards, to the Allianz cards, to all that plastic cards. Every one of them are chipped already. So, but I'm so near to you. It can also be a part of a relationship with your body, metallic, physically. And already what all people also knows, that the mobile phone are very, seems like one of them helps the people, the world, the community to communicate better. What I mean with telecommunication is about people to persons who look in them straight eyes, seeing what a mimic and gestures, everything is in communication, and what definitely is not a real communication is the mobile phone. Why? When you go in the subways, when you go in the cities, we're on every place. People don't look straight, they look to the ground, look to the mobile phone. And this is not just communication. Why? The first thing what happens when a person comes to a room with a few people in, or a hall, or building, or I don't know. When I enter this room, this person is in a way to, his body is in a way to communicate. So he comes in the room, want to look in the eyes of the person, but I don't looking in them eyes. So this person feels himself first alone, not communicate enough, and lost communication, lost everything from this human communication systems from what we are talking. That means that the physically evidence is already there that a mobile phone, a cell phone is not this communication, 21st century communication. It's not some kind of stuff who make peace or something, or bring communication in different dimensions or something. Also what I can see is that is very dangerous for the people who, an example, who are just driving a car and beside he makes a phone call and then he makes a horrible crash and people die. It's the kind of the people who are also already know that physically evidence is already there, that when you put your heads down, so your nerve system becomes blood from your neck. That means that you stretch your neck, but you look down, that means that some part of this nerve systems are blocked. Very, very sensible and very also they are blocked. That means that the brain can take enough air to work, And also what we can see is that the people they are already all branded, burned by the evil's stamp, by the evil's sign. Every one of the people who are just watching with them two eyes in this phone, who are foresights, that means that who have ultraviolet lights also, and it's a magnetic field around and some enlightened stuff. We talk about Illuminati's. That means that the people who are burned by the devil's sign Look to your necks, look to the people's necks. You will see there red points of everyone. Look to and another example, to the newborn babies. They have behind the two eyes, they become a new nerve in the middle of the eye. You look to all the babies, you can see that it was not before. This and what we talk, the people who are in the high physics of body and metaphysics, we are known already that the babies who are now born as 10 years ago have also already this kind of blue nerve behind the eyes, and it's a radical, have very affection of the developing of this young child. And then the mobile phone comes on this young child, and he don't know anything about what is really going on in the world, but he want to look in the people's eyes and goes in the streets, and everything what he see is that the people are not looking straight, they look down and they're looking with the two eyes in this phone, and he don't know what is this affection of this mobile phone, of his heart frequency, of his health. He will become straight ill, straight sick. Very, very, very hard for a young 6 years or 10 years. He don't know anything. He comes in school, he see everyone have this phone, and everyone are making fun of them, and there are pornographic stuffs there. That means that we have also not already security for the youngsters who won't have this mobile phone and watch it pornographic stuffs, and that's also not a problem. What we talk about sexual development, the culture of this generation of youngsters are horrible. I don't say that it will become nymphomatics, but also what we can talk from a physically part, mobile phone change the chromosomes from X to Y. That means that a woman becomes more like a man, and man becomes more like a woman. And you can see that's already on the street. That example, a lot of guys let them long hairs, and the young girls become, when you look to them fingers, you can see it already that it becomes more feminine. That means everything is changed. That means homosexuality, lesbian and gay stuff will also come new in this culture of sexuality in this generation of the 21st century. And so that's the point. The mobile phone kills everything. Your brain cells, and warm up your heart. Warm up everything. You have it 24 hours beside you. That's the problem. That's when I say you have it already 24 hours in a room, and you use it only 1 or 2 hours per day or something, and so you can feel it already. You can taste it by yourself. That when you don't use a mobile phone, that everything will change. It physically, everything. You look to your jeans, everything is metallic. The coins where we buy metallic stuff or very active for that kind of high frequencies, and also including to your body cells. Everyone have metallic stuff in its blood systems and in your bones. And so when we're looking also around people who talk about homogene milks and stuffs, so we can see that everything goes on a way that the bones from the young child become so I don't know how I can tell you, change with the fluorides and stuff happens with the water from the physically, that the youngsters becomes more looking like, I don't know, a prototype of how I can explain it. Everything is changed. They become long. Normally it's 16 years old boy is in a normal 1 meter and 65 centimeters or something like that. But when you see that he drinks more milk, who are already with a poison of very crazy stuff what they put in the milks, you know, from supermarket. And you can see it already that a youngster who was 16 years become 1 meter and 80 centimeters. It's become 20-30 centimeters long. And so this youngster becomes problem with his physically health, you know. So we must inform the people, the young people. We must talk about that stuff. We must make a solution and begin to make an end, you know. So that was the first 10 minutes of stuff. What I want to tell you already it's known, but what is unknown is that all that world around you have already this mobile phone, and this takes all that energies to from the human populations. When you look to the human population before, when Indians in North America and South America, they live with stones, you know. They know that the natural stuffs that when they go in the mountains and walk some ways who are with some very important that's a kind of communication with the nature, you know. Everything is lost in the cities, and now we become this mobile phone. It will become a zombie world, you know. That's what I want to tell you already, that the people are becoming zombies. Why? You can see it by when the people are walk, they have fools, you know. When they are born, they become fools, and everything is a circle, you know. When you put a little bit poison of quacksilver or something in the water of 100 tons of water, you can put a half liter quacksilver and all the water will be poisoned, but it looks like, when it's normal, you know, it looks like normal water, but it's poison in it, but you don't see it. And when the masses are so under this holographic manipulation system, you know, that when we are watching to the TV, to the television, that nobody tells something like this, that, oh, they poison the water in Italy, is no problem, you know. Oh, petrol station in Northern Europe explodes. Oh, no problem. We have everything under control. It's so small. Everything, when it's far, you know, it becomes easy to control. So when we talk about here in Europe or America about a war in Afghanistan and Iraq, we don't know what will happen in the next years about this war, and physically, not the refugees, physically, in the physically way, it's horrible, you know. We talk about the military stuff, what they use there can be loaded by some energy, what we don't know, what we know as black matter or some kind of energy machine or something. The war machine, the tanks and all the jeeps and what they use for metals there in these countries, when they bring these cars or vehicles back to their own country, America, Europe, back, and what we see there, it's happened something very crazy, that they can double, triple, 100 times this kind of energy of another vehicles here. So they can use another. What I want to tell, they can already make war here in Europe, and they do it. It begins with the Ukraine, and we see it. It becomes near and near that everything becomes soon fall, you know. But nobody wants to stop or talk about the real stuff. What was important, you know. That the communication systems are so horrible in an error, so that a lot of people will lost everything, their minds, their bodies, their everything, and so the bodies can be possessed by entities or your old criminal mind or something like. I hope that everything will be coming in a real.